So let's get started. I know people will be trickling in, so I'm going to switch this. If everybody to help keep the recording a little cleaner, you can keep yourself muted, please, until you want to speak. That would be great, because I'm getting a lot of noise, and what that does is it bombs this speaker view. So let's see.
Roseanne?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, good. I wasn't sure if I was muted or not. I think people are excited to hear a little bit about your adventure. Could you just take 5 minutes and do a overview of it for us? Would you feel on the spot?
Well, okay. If that's, I won't take a long time, but thank you. Let's see. I'm setting up here, and then let me kind of do a start because we're recording this. So, all right. Welcome everybody. This is our fourth Skyscapito Appreciation Society meetup. Thank you so much. I'm Roseanne Hanson. Deborah Kahn is here. Beth Ann Burton isn't able to make it today, but thank you all for coming. We are recording this, so you can go back, and then don't forget, let me put the link to our web page, where we also have, and then I'll put the link to the Padlet. We've been using the Padlet, so don't forget that. Where's that link? Let me just drop that in real quick for the Padlet. If you're not familiar with what Padlet is, it's an instant share that's really easy to use. So we have our own like Padlet, Skyscapito Appreciation Society, and there's meetups, and you can post your favorite pictures of skies and questions. So it's really cool, and I'm going to put that in the chat as well. You can access the Padlet from the website too, so you don't have to have two things open. And Deborah, am I the only, let's see, I think I'm the only admin on that. I want to add another, let's see, I'm going to add another column on the Padlet for this meetup, I think. But I'll do that in just a few minutes while someone else is sharing. So, okay, so keep yourselves muted. And then Deborah just asked if I could just talk a little bit about the art trip to Alaska. So we were on a research trip for a book my husband is writing, and we spent 2 weeks camping and exploring all over. And we went as far north as Utqiagvik, which used to be called Point Barrow, and then down to Fairbanks, and then we rented a truck and drove north to Prudhoe Bay, and we saw everything that we wanted to, except didn't see a grizzly, a brown bear, and we didn't see wolves. So, but we saw muskox and lots of caribou. And I did post my pages. I did some skies too, which I was happy. I did, I think, 25 pages of journaling. Which was pretty fun. Let me show you one of the skies. I'm getting so much more comfortable with skies, which is making me really happy, because before it would be kind of daunting, right? Like I just see if I can get a quality and training purposes. Gasoline, or to smell gas, press 1. Otherwise, someone's got their, let's see. Deborah, can you see the participants? Okay, I think we got it. Nope.
Personal information may be solicited during this call.
Oh my gosh.
gas.com/CCPA.
Let's see what we can do.
Notice a selection.
Nope. I'm looking for everyone who's not muted, so. Okay, Deborah, I think we got him. Yeah. Phew. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so for skyscapes, I'm just starting to get much more comfortable with really quickly adding in, clouds. I love the way that turned out. It's exactly what the sky looked like. when we were going there, and that was going over the highest pass you can cross in the Brooks Range, which so I was really happy with that. I didn't do the Northern Lights. I think I need to do that. So that was really fun. So I put this on Facebook, all my pages. So if you want to take a look, that would be great. All right, well, let's get to sunsets and sunrises. I didn't have a lot of them on this trip because it was just so cloudy, and also we were sometimes in the taiga, and then in the tundra, it was raining and snowing. So I didn't get any sunrise sunset shots for this one. So use the under reactions, raise hand. If you would like to share one you've already done, or you've got a photo that you would like us to kind of work on as a challenge together. I had a good question from Mary Zahner. I don't know if Mary's here, but she's got a great question. She'll share this photo. And it's like how to do a sunset when it's that really amazing peach color that grades into blue. And so how do you get that without accidentally making green? That's a good one. So I don't know if she's here yet. Mary, are you here? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So raise your hand, Mary, and that'll pull you up to the top of the queue if you want to share that photo. And if you can't do it, I can screen share it. So let me know. Okay.
I cannot share it. It was on my phone.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll share it. Let's start with that one, and then let's all do a little practice one. So I'm going to
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm going to grab that now. Who else wants to share? Any raised hands? I don't see any raised hands. Come on. Oh, there we are. Okay, Mary. That's Mary.
And if people could use the under the reactions, raise their hand there too, that would be, besides waving, that would be great.
Oh, yes, that's what I meant. I'm so sorry. I meant use the Zoom
icon.
Function. Yeah, because that moves you out of the big queue and right to the very beginning so we can find you. And I'm saving these photos so I can share them. So hold tight.
So Mary, Dana, Rhoda, and Leslie so far. Oh, and Laura.
Okay, great. Well, while I do the sharing, why don't Rhoda, what have you got?
All right, well, the only way I know how to share, will it work if I hold it up? Okay.
It's honestly the easiest.
Okay, because I don't have any of that other paraphernalia. So
yeah.
All right, here is the photo. It's a sunset over a river. And here is my picture. My painting, what I'm running into is as I try to add layers, I can't get it dark enough without starting to lift things. So my guess is I am probably trying to do things too quickly and not letting things dry enough, which I'm notorious for. So
let's get some feedback. So who wants to make a comment on that while I just loaded one of the photos. So just go ahead and start speaking.
Okay, a comment I might have is it could be a problem with your paper, because watercolor paper, the pigment will sink in and it's going to lock in. Whereas it looks like you're using sketch paper and I have the same problem you do. It just slops all over.
Now, this is watercolor paper, but it's not it's cheaper watercolor paper for practicing. So,
Sure.
That might be one thing, Rhoda, you might keep in mind. Using the same paper you usually use is pretty important when you're learning, because it's a language. You learn how to connect your paints, your style, and your paper together. And if you keep switching them out and use cheap paper, you're not going to learn how that paper behaves when you go back to your other paper.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know it's painful, but if you really want to master watercolor, it is a dance between the water. Someone's quacking. The water, the paper, and the pigment. So, and yes, maybe there looks like there's some hard edges. So it's this moment in time, and we'll try some with these photos from Mary too, which are very similar to yours. Is that Belt of Venus, which is what that dark is called, that grades up. Do you guys all know that? Who knows Belt of Venus?
Spell it, and I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect, thanks. Yes, it's that's what's called when you see that purple band right after sunset, and you still
right.
And it's a lovely old. I believe it was Deborah who named Belt of Venus.
That I don't know.
Was it Herodotus? We'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Please.
Can you spell it?
Belt of Venus.
The misspelling, but I think we have somebody feeding ducks or something.
Okay, well,
it's phonetically spelled. But it says it's incorrect. So,
Belt of Venus.
Oh, Belt of. Okay, it's a little bit joggly here.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Oh, I know how to spell that.
Rhoda. Anyone else can comment on Rhoda's, and then I put Mary's photos in the chat. If you can open those, they're similar, and so let's try a Belt of Venus. Let's all work on that. I think that would be fun.
I was also wondering if you've tried like a hair dryer on low or no heat, or put
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that works.
That's a good idea.
Because I get impatient as well. I'm just beginning to do watercolor.
Right. I just started during the pandemic, and it's been quite an adventure.
Yeah, I'd say it took me 4 or 5 years before I felt pretty comfortable,
Yeah, sometimes I feel really good about it, but other times I'm like, nah, that's just a piece of trash.
And it's like everything, the more you do it, the better. And
right.
if I'm really, really busy and I haven't done it in 3 or 4 weeks, I'm rusty, just like anything. So why don't we all take like a few minutes and let's practice the Belt of Venus.
Can you show it to us? Because if I look on it on my pad, then I can't see you.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to do a demo. So
no, I know, but just the photo.
Just a photo? Okay, let me see if I could just screen share. Let's see. Share screen. How's that? Is that showing now?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Great.
I put a link in for the Belt of Venus and some facts about it.
Yeah, this one is not really showing exactly the Belt of Venus. It is similar. Rhoda's was much more the Belt of Venus, which is very purple with the orange above. So, the fun thing about this is we can sort of make up a sunset too if you want to just practice your watercolor. So I got some paper and I'm gonna practice mine here too.
So is the Belt of Venus the sort of darker reddish purplish color
It's usually, yes,
Or
it's purple, purplish dark at the bottom, and it's the shadow of the earth on it as the sun sets. It's its own shadow.
So is it very, very thin purple just beyond the trees, or is it the slightly more reddish color?
It's go ahead and let's see, I'm gonna.
Do you want me to hold up my picture
Yeah,
again?
I'm gonna stop the share and have Rhoda hold up hers again. That's the belt of, oops, let me spotlight Rhoda. That's the belt of Venus there.
Oh, yeah.
Very dark purple grading up to the orangey yellow.
But so it's not clouds and it's reflected in the river just like the sun is.
Yeah, it's a shadow. Very cool. So probably one of the first things you would want to do, okay, I'm going to screen share the other one. You can, we can do that one. And that's close to a belt of Venus. It could be clouds, but we can make it up, right? If we can do whatever we want. So probably the easiest thing for few beginners is to dampen your paper so you don't get any hard lines. And be sure to mute everybody because I'm getting tons of noise and it's going to kind of bomb the recording.
Does everybody know how to mute? There's that little microphone at the bottom of your screen. Yes, I think so, because I'm not hearing things.
Now suddenly, yeah, that worked.
So, that link I gave you has a very distinct one. If you're still wondering what, and it.
I'm watching my
how
art.
it moves.
Yeah, some people can't open multiple windows.
Sure.
So the first thing
Afterwards. Yeah.
I'm putting down a layer of blue. Now I chose cyan, which is a little turquoisey compared to this, because that's the blue I had open. And then I'm going to quickly drop in some yellow, but I'm going to keep them separate because if they blend.
You didn't plug it back in, Daddy. You didn't plug the computer back in.
Someone needs to mute, please.
Roseanne, when you wet your paper, do you always use a brush or do sometimes you spritz the paper?
I use a brush because usually I'm working in my journal and I don't want to spray the whole page if I've got other things on it already, but you could do either. So when you're doing skies like this, remember you're going to be darkest at the top, but for these belt of Venus, you're going to add the darker purples at the bottom. I'm letting mine dry. I got it too wet because I'm kind of rushing. It's a dance, isn't it? And then since this has a dark, the dark trees and things at the back, I would do that last after everything dries. So you don't want to do those trees first, just work on the sky. I'm not going to do clouds yet either, or I may drop those in later and I may skip them. But right now, my page is too wet.
Is there anyone that is using colored pencils instead of watercolors?
I am.
Who was that? Say your name.
Meg Chevalier I'm using Statler's liquid watercolor pencils. Just because I'm feeling very out of control at the moment.
That's good. I would find myself, I don't know anything about the pencils, and I would find that very hard. And I should have masked my my page, then I can be more sloppy. Do you know what, everybody know what masking is? Here, let me just show real quick. Let's see.
You mind if I watch this?
Oh, of course you can.
So if you're not muted, please mute. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let me spotlight myself, but I have to find myself. I've completely lost myself. Hey, Deborah, can you see me and spotlight me?
Okay.
Oh, there I am.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I can't. No, I can't. See if you can find me and spotlight me.
You're on the screen right now for me.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's great. So masking is literally using masking tape, and I keep a little roll. I use the pretty narrow because it makes a nice. It's easier to use than the wide ones. If you want a really wide one, just use multiple, and that would give me a cleaner edges. So when I go slop, then it, when you let it dry and peel it off, because right now mine is too wet. I've got to let it dry before I add any more. It's really sloppy. So that's kind of one of the challenges of this. So if anyone has comments or just want to, say what you're doing, just start speaking. I'm going to put this, it's on speaker view, so you'll pop up. It's just not behaving well though. And I'm going to go ahead and put that photo back up. So go ahead, any comments, just go ahead and start speaking. How are people doing?
Have any of you?
There. Up. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm using my iPad for the first time because I have 100 other things I'm doing at the same time. But oh, great. Well, just keep chatting away so that we know what we're supposed to be doing. And I'll put myself on mute again.
Okay. No worries. The iPads can be a little harder for shares and things, so just hang in there. Anyone have anything they want to share of what they've got so far?
I could share mine. It's super wet.
Oh yeah, mine is too. Who said that? I'm sorry.
That's Laura F.
Okay, Laura, let me stop this share and look for you. There you are. Great. Let me spotlight you. Nice. Oh, nice. I like your dark blue. Did you use what colors did you use?
Yeah, that's indigo. And then I mixed indigo with a little umber to get kind of this light area here. It's kind of umber.
That's
and
pretty.
Then this is cherry red. I used I think I used a Rollian yellow, and then mainly ultramarine blue, a little bit of cobalt, not much. That's it.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
My sky's too light. Here, I'll show what I've got here. Okay, see if that'll. So it's still really wet, but I would let this dry, and then I would put the mountain or the the foliage in dark here. And I'd want to try to darken this quite a bit and see what I mean about being sloppy on the edges, because I was going really fast. If I had masked it, I'd have a nice, neat little box. So that just needs to dry. Well, let's do some other sharing while we all let our soupy pages dry. Leslie, do you want to share what you've got? That would be awesome. Let's see. I'll take myself off. Okay, Leslie, what would you like to share while we're all waiting for our pages to dry?
Hi there. Well, I just wanted to share. So I've been doing learning how to sketch sunrises and sunsets for over a year now. I try to go out every day. I don't usually, but a couple times a week. And I was just going to say, the ladies who are on, who you like to use pencils, that's my go-to. I haven't quite challenged myself to do the watercolor yet. So, but anyways, so I typically use watercolor pencils, and I usually don't activate them, like wet my strokes. A lot of times it's because I'm afraid I'm gonna ruin the picture. But
yeah.
I have. But,
wow. Okay. Tell us about your process, because I'm really curious, and I know others are, about the pencil. And so, what do you do first? What are the colors you choose, and explain that.
Well, I have actually learned how to just be quick. You know, I'm not trying to be a perfectionist as I am sketching what I'm seeing with my eyes. I usually start with the horizon, the colors that I see. And of course, with the sunset, I mean, it's different, you know, no sunset's the same, at least from what I've seen. So I usually start with just my tree line, because where the sit or park spot where I usually go, just around the corner from my house, there is a tree line that I see across the city. I mean, it's kind of a high point where I actually am sitting. There's actually a building or two closer to me than the horizon. I choose to leave that out. So I usually start with the tree line that I see. And it's usually, there's kind of two layers. There's a farther layer, which is more grayed. And sometimes it's reflecting the light or the color that's at the horizon or closest to the horizon. And then this would be what's closest. But I don't really give a lot of detail to this part, because I just want to capture what's in the sky. So, you know, there's not always this purpley blue band. Right. And I'm amazed that, you know, I look up, you know, sometimes before I even go out, and it's clear, right? Like there's no clouds right above me sometimes. And then when I go to the spot, I can see clouds that have formed to the west where the sun is setting. Either it's just in the distance, clouds that are in the distance, maybe that have gone by. And so I'm like, I wonder why that is.
Like atmospherically, and why we often see those in the distance, but not right. Right. Yeah, that's a good question.
So, but yeah, so I start with that. Actually, so let me back up. I usually start with where the sun is. I like to get the sun, because it's just dropping so fast. Exactly. So I want to capture where the sun is so I can get that in, and then I go back in. But it's changing so rapidly, and so sometimes what I'm finding is I am as it's changing, I'm adding color or, line, as it's changing. It's not like a still moment of the sunset. So I'm like, is that accurate? So I mean, and I don't know. I don't care.
I like that.
I'm just,
you're just having fun and enjoying what
yes, I'm just capturing as much as I can and just enjoying learning or trying to see, and portray accurately. I mean, as much as I can on my my paper. But so usually the colors that I have are like a purple, and I use Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. I think they're the aqua. Let me see, aquarel, art grip aquarel, excuse me, pencils.
do you find that it's better to use the higher quality brands?
I've never used any other, well, I should like Derwent. I've used Derwent. I actually have some Derwent that I'll use if I can't find a particular color in the aquarel, but I haven't used any other brand, so I can't really say I can compare. But just in general, because I do have a little bit of art background, and I just got used to finding good quality material. So, and that's what I
think that's good.
Yeah.
Other pencil users, what brands do you use? Go ahead and just speak out.
Hi, Roseanne.
I use pencils. I use pencils a lot.
I
don't want to cut it over anybody else.
No, who's speaking?
Oh, Paula's speaking.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and speak again.
That
way I can see you. Perfect. So what do you use?
I use Prismacolor pencils, although I'm starting to phase out of, I've got like 150 of them, but I'm starting to use some others because I'm so tired of them breaking when I go to push a point. At least 50% of the time, the point breaks.
Oh my!
So I'm starting to add in colors, polychromos colors that won't break, at least for things that I know I use for edges, for leaves, and that sort of thing. And for sunsets, I use a lot of salmon colors and very pale yellow. There's deco yellow, deco peach, deco blue. I get those in, and then I put in some purple, like a reddish purple, depending on what the clouds are doing. I just leave that white space.
Nice.
But that's so into watercolors right now that I haven't been doing that. Here's mine, really runny.
Yeah.
And that dark purple is Rose of Ultramarine, which I love. It's on my dot card. I love my dot card. I have Daniel Smith dot card that somebody got for me. So
those are great. What was the color again?
That purple is Rose of Ultramarine.
Rose of Ultramarine. Ooh, that sounds
cool. And then I have cerulean, and then thrown up at the top. I started out with azo yellow, but I don't know why. So then I tried to lift it all off, and I used nickel titanate yellow, which I like. So
nice. Wonderful. That's so great to know. I love all the differences. So let's see, Dana, did we get your question or share, or do you want to go?
Yeah, I had a couple of things that I could share that were disasters, and then maybe other people won't have those disasters.
Oh.
One thing I did that was interesting. I wondered if dropping alcohol into the paint would, make a little spot that would sort of fade out and would be kind of like the sun as we see it with clouds coming over. So I played around with that a little.
What
Horrible
a
colors,
great idea.
but-
Oh my gosh, those are awesome.
Yeah.
The best one I think was this one. That was sort of the effect I was going for.
Nice.
The others just really didn't work. It turns out when you use alcohol, you tend to get these circles. It's more like a target than, you know, an orb. But I think you could play around with it and maybe come up with some other colors and so forth and have some fun.
Great
So
idea.
that was one thing. And then another, we were talking about paper, and I do think that the better papers let you get the blending of the colors. So I've got this little set of, they're meant to be postcards, and they're sized about, you know, postcard size. It's in centimeters, it's 10 by 14, but, oh, here it is, 4 by 5. And they work really well. So I've like just now I did the one that we were all practicing. And it just lets the colors bleed together better. So I would just recommend trying that, because it's a very inexpensive way to get some decent paper that's already the size you might want to use it for. It's a good Skyscapito size.
That's perfect. Yeah, I just found some of those as well, and they're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, well, Beth Ann actually sent me a postcard that she had done. She had done a Skyscapito, and I just loved it. And I mentioned that to her, and she just sent it. It was so cool. And it took about 3 weeks from Australia, but hey.
Awesome.
It was cool.
That's so great.
Yeah, so we can do that for one another.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Dana.
Yeah.
Let's see. Laura, you got yours. Did I just forget to lower your hand?
Oh, I had a photo of a sunset that someone I know took. So I just want to show that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is this, I like to think it's a past blown up volcano. It's called Camel's Hump. It looks like a camel with maybe a hump or a sleeping lion. The colors are a little more vibrant. I'm getting a little bit of maybe if I hold it back a little more.
Yeah,
they're really peach. It's really a few shades darker, I think, the peach.
So the biggest challenge with that we'll all find if you're trying to do it with watercolor is, of course, when your peachy yellows and then they butt up against a blue, and you don't want a hard edge, but how do you get that to blend without turning green?
Right.
Yeah,
that's why I thought this was a good one to show.
Yeah. So that's an actual sunset.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Vermont. We have a huge amount of precipitation that drops from the Midwest along our really tall Green Mountain Ridge. So we get these really dynamic sunsets in the summer.
Yeah. I think what you would have to do with that, if you're doing watercolor, is, you do your yellows, leaving the blank spots where you want your blues, and then let it dry. And then using watercolors that all lift really easily, then add your blues when it's dry, being really careful not to blend them too much. And then you can go back when they're dry and smooth the transitions using a damp brush. That would probably work without getting a green. Anyone else have any tips on that?
That you might want to go back with a gouache when you go back.
Oh.
And to finally smooth.
Yeah, if you don't know what gouache is, folks, it's the beginners. That's an opaque watercolor, so it just depends on what effect you want. A gouache is going to turn your picture much more opaque, and you'll lose the vibrant, bright colors that
just on the areas where the two meet. If she's wandered a little blue into the yellow and didn't want it to show, so you're not changing big areas, you're just making a minute correction.
Yeah, that would work. Great, thank you. Thanks, Laura.
I'm wondering if anyone has used UPO to
Oh.
solve that, because that's a plastic paper where you could easily wipe off something.
Yeah. UFOs. I had like 2 or 3 sample pieces, but since I wouldn't normally put them in my journal, I never got very far with it. Anyone use UPO? Speak up if you want to share. No?
I've used it with some
go
alcohol.
Go ahead, Valerie.
I've used UPO with mixed media like alcohol inks. It's wonderful for that. And also some like the Ranger paints range and things like that. But I have not used it for watercolor.
Okay.
That's something I'd really like to try.
Okay, so if anyone tries UPO, report back to the Skyscapito page. I will be sure to add a meetup number 4 on our Padlet. That's the place to share things. I haven't had a chance to get over there. Actually, Meg, I'm gonna spotlight you next, and I'm gonna try to get over there and add that to our Padlet while you're sharing, okay?
I had a question for Dana. Did she say Jana, that you were using alcohol instead of water with her paints? Is that something you were saying, Dana?
Actually, I don't put it right into the paint and use it like we would use water with the paint. I was just taking a little drop of alcohol, pure, grain alcohol. I keep a little tube of it like this. And then I have a little dropper somewhere here. And I'll just very carefully take up some alcohol and then drop it gently onto the paint. And the darker your original paint is, the more dramatic the result is. That's all I can tell you. I'm just playing.
Cool.
Nice.
It's to experiment with. You can also use isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
That's what. Yeah, I guess I said grain. That's what we drink, huh? It's the one we don't drink.
Well, you'll definitely
rubbing alcohol.
There you go. Medicinal rubbing alcohol, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I'm not able to access the Padlet right now, so I'm going to have to do that after. So for sharing our stuff, give me a few minutes after we finish our thing today, because I need to log in and I can't get to my password stuff right now. So let's see, Meg already went. Anyone else? Let's see, let me see how so I just did the sky part of that. My clouds are too big, but I just did the sky part of the photo. I didn't do the jetty going out or the road or whatever it was. I just focused on the sky. That was very fast. I managed to get this without turning this green, so that worked by just keeping them very separate, the blues and the yellows. Probably could use a little bit more grading in, but I kept them really, really separate. And then as it was drying, I kept washing very carefully with a clean brush to keep it from being a hard line. So that worked. Anyone else want to share theirs? Raise your, Deborah, yay. Go, Deborah.
You seem to have lost your audio.
Who? Deborah did.
I'm sorry. I was confused. Unmute myself. Okay, there we go. What I used was, instead of using the colored pencils, which I thought would take a real long time, I used these Artesia pens, paint brushes that my daughter gave me for a gift. And I haven't quite mastered them that's an understatement. And this is what I did. I did a different.
That's beautiful.
And you can't really tell, but the reflection of the mountains is a dark blue. And,
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. And then I ran out of water in my water, my little brush pen. So it was too streaky, but
Those
yeah.
colors are beautiful. They pop gorgeously and are very clear and bright.
And I actually took it from that website that I put in the chat. And what I found interesting was that there was yellow, and then there's a reflection. This is at the water, and then there was blue again, and another reflection. So it must be reflecting, I'm thinking, from above that we can't see, or I can't.
Aha.
So anyhow, so yeah, that was kind of fun to experiment fast. I'm not used to working so fast.
That's really hard. And yeah, do not worry about that at all. Let's see, I'm getting our Padlet. Yay. Okay, now we have a Skyscapito Meetup number 4 section for sharing things. That'll be great. Okay, oh, who else? Oh, Alyssa. Let's go. Let's see.
Hi.
Let me spotlight you. Hold on
Sure.
just a
Sure.
second. There and there. Okay, go. Oh,
there. So I just did this really quick. This was a photo I had wanted to do when I was there on vacation. Let's see if there's the picture. But didn't get a chance to. So this was a great opportunity to just try and do the sunset.
That is fabulous. I think that's just captured that moment perfectly.
I do too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This was fun. It was a challenging sky, but it was really beautiful.
What I like about it is it's very immediate, and it's apparent that you didn't I call it overcooking. I tend to go back too much over watercolor. If you touch it again too much, you lose the beautiful immediacy of watercolor. So that just has all the appearance of just a really great quick sketch. I love that.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. And Johnny James, let's see. Let me spotlight you. Hello. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're good.
I used the link. Hold on, I don't know how well it'll show up. It's pretty pale here. I don't have a lot of light in the room.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Your camera just locked on it, so we got the colors. So good. I like how you graded the colors. Nice. You didn't get too hard edges. That looks good.
That was not easy. I had to keep.
It's
lifting.
hard.
Mm-hmm. I would like for it to have blended better, but
just keep practicing. It really does take a lot of practice, and you'll learn. So just by practicing, you have to learn how your paper dries and at what point adding more pigment will work or blork it out. There's this sweet moment where you can add more color and it's not a hard line. And then if it dries too much, you get a hard line. And you've got to kind of then wash the whole thing over again. And if it's I think being too wet is the hardest thing to fix if you get blooms. If everybody knows what blooms are. Blooms are when you use too much water and your pigment follows the water and they go, beer. And they're almost impossible to fix. You just have to leave them and embrace them.
Right. What I found interesting, I started from the bottom with the hills or mountains in the background and then up. And as I would add a layer and try to lift and try to make it so it wasn't so abrupt, it would look good. But the next time, but when I would add the next layer of color and get that in there, then I'd realize, no, it's actually still needs to be lifted because it was too, abrupt level between. So
yes.
Anyway, it was interesting.
Good. I like how you shared your process. That helps people learn. So I did my dark part last. I did my mountain last. I just ignored it. And then I was able to add it. I like the reflection that was it Deborah, you added the reflection. Was sweet. I like that. I didn't leave enough.
I did my mountains last too.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Thank you, Johnny. Let's see. Is
Joni.
it Johnny or Joni?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Mary. Let me spotlight Mary. Great. Okay. Oh, look at that. You got some nice blending.
Oh.
Okay, tell us how you did that.
Well, I'm not really sure, but I started out with ultramarine blue on the top and Aurelian in the middle.
Did they meet or
No.
did you leave blank?
No, I tried not to let them meet, and then I did some violet on the bottom, and then I didn't think it was orange enough, so I really like Quin Coral. So I threw some of that in there, and then I was like, the yellow is not orange enough, so then I used some yellow ochre, and then I was like, the blue is not purple enough, so then I put in some more violet. I think I put in some magenta. I mean,
I love what you got.
No limited palette going here.
I like that. That's the best blending I've seen. I'm going to go back. I'm going to try mine again because I don't think I got the blending you did.
Quite a lot of hair drying happened while I was muted as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
My original question, and I still am not there, is when you look at a clear sunset like that and you see the blue and then the kind of goldy yellow bit, there's a point where you know that you sense that yellow is on top of the blue, but you're like, I can't do that with paint. I can't even figure out what color it is.
But you got that in that blending right there. You got the yellow blending to the blue perfectly. I mean, that's just really nice. Is that what you mean, or are you saying?
I guess I just need to practice.
Yeah, so maybe less blue next time and more of the yellow going up. That might give you more of what you're looking for. But honestly, I think you are well on your way of capturing that golden moment. Is really and you, with watercolor, you have to fool the eye. You can't put the blue under the yellow, as you know. So you've got to fool it with those warm yellows and leaving that white and behind it so that it glows like that. Because that's, if everybody isn't aware, the reason watercolor is so attractive to a lot of us is you're seeing the bright paper reflected through the color. And that's what it's so pretty when you're using transparent watercolors is and that helps the glows on these sunsets. And you did a great job there. Just really.
This is not mountains in the background, by the way. This is a backwater of the Illinois River.
That's
just the tree line.
I think we all just sort of made up our own, yeah.
Mary,
anyway, I'll stop now. Thanks.
Mary, somebody, actually it's Laura, who is asking what kind of brush you used.
I used a Princeton size 10, and then when I got desperate, I used a 1/2-inch flat.
And I bet the flats really make a big difference for doing those kinds of blends, because I was just using my round, and it's really hard to keep it moving enough not to get the streakies. So I got streakies. Nice.
I used a flat all along if I'd had the courage. Okay, enough of me. Thank you.
Well done, well done. Let's see, remove and lower hand. And let's see, Loretta, you raised your hand, but I don't see you. I think she took a break. We just have a few minutes. Oh my, this went quickly. This was fun. Okay, there's Loretta. Loretta. Wait, unmute. You have to unmute. Let's see if I can help you. No, so your mute button is down on the lower part. See if you can find that. It should say unmute down at the bottom. If you're on an iPad, it's going to be the 3 dots on the upper right. Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
I'm going to interrupt just quickly.
Yeah. Oh, so we can't hear Loretta, so but she's gonna hold up. Nicely done. Really nicely done.
Ooh, the reflection is beautiful.
She's unmuted.
Yay! Nicely done. Now see how she did that too, just like Mary. That was really nice. And yeah, she understood those were plants, not mountains.
Oh, yes, I did see them as plants.
They were, yeah.
Trees, big trees.
Some of us turned them into mountains.
And I tried to sneak in some shadow on the clouds, but
I like that. I like that. What
Yeah,
tell us your process, what you did to make that. What
here?
colors? Yeah, what colors and what did you do first?
I did the yellow and then I let it dry. Then I wet the sky. I wet this whole thing. You had said that you were going to wet the whole thing. So I wet the whole thing, but it wasn't soaky wet. So I did this and then we let everything dry. I did a little bit of the sky in blue. Let that dry. I picked up with the tissues some of the blue.
Nice.
Then I came back down here and put in alizarin crimson.
Ah, nice.
And that went in really heavy, so I had to take a lot of it out. But then I put a little orange in there and they just blended together.
Nice.
Then I put my purple in and that was it.
Really nice. I like that. And the plants were last.
Yes, the plants are last.
Nice.
Thank you, Roseanne.
Well done. I'm learning a lot from everybody. Well, let's see. I think we're going to kind of wrap up soon. Anyone else? Final thoughts? Oh, I know. Maybe since we all showed up, what do we want to do next time? Put suggestions in the chat. What we should cover next time in a few weeks. I'd love to hear more ideas. I think we've got one got a lot of interest was doing Skyscapitos with pen and ink, just pen and ink. Yep. Hurricanes. Oh my God.
Wow. So speaking of the pen and ink idea, I for some reason had it in my head that was going to be today. So I was actually looking around and the illustrator, she's a master of scratchboard. Her name is Trudy Nicholson. She did some illustrations for the book, The View from Lazy Point. And I have, I could show you one of them that I thought was just wonderful.
Oh yeah, let me see. Hold on. Let me
just have to
light you. Hold on.
Have my.
This is Valerie, right?
Beautiful stippling.
Do you want to share? Okay. Oh, let me make you bigger. Hold on. There. You got to hold that still. It's not focusing.
I'm just trying
there
to
you
get
go. Now hold it there. That's nice. Very nice.
It's in The View from Lazy Point. She's illustrated a bunch of other books, but this was just a beautiful landscape she had done. It looks much better in the book than it does on my phone. It's like got this clear quality to it that she has. That's part of her style, and the sky is just perfectly stippled.
Nice. Wow, that must have taken eons to accomplish.
Well, she's a master of it, so it probably took her less time than it would take a normal person.
Yeah, that's true. I did. So we'll do pen and ink next time. Let's do that because here this is a pen and ink really quick sky. This is like a 3-minute Skyscapito with just pen and ink, and the cloud I think came out pretty nice. So that's what we'll try next time, and we'll send some resources out and some ideas. I think a number of people had some good examples. We'll send ahead of time. So, but hurricanes, that might be a good theme like coming up soon because we're getting pretty hot and heavy hurricane season.
We had a lot of other good ideas too. So I can make a list of those and put on our
Great.
Padlet.
That would be fantastic. That would be wonderful if you can. Otherwise, I'm going to save the chat and I'll have that too. So if you can't get to it, I know you're really busy, Deborah. So thank you so much for coming. So everybody, this was fun. Thank you. It's a nice little break for me. And we'll, so don't forget, let me put our website here. So this is where you go to share, and the link to the Padlet is on there. Don't forget. So please share what you did today on the Padlet. And I'll have this recording up as well. If you want to look at anything that we did, that would be fun. So I'm going to switch to gallery view. Let's see, remove my spotlight.
I want to ask one other quick question.
Sure.
Did anybody join the European group? I tried to, but I put my alarm on PM instead of AM. And
oh, no.
Yeah. So did anybody else, just out of curiosity?
Anyone here? I think only about 6 people showed up.
Oh, okay.
So as we sign off, hold up your what you did today or something that you did. Let's all just hold it up and then we'll sign off. So yay.
Great way to end. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll do this again. This has been fun. Look at all the diversity. Love it.
Yeah.
Dana,
Thank you, Roseanne.
Thanks everybody. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Great fun. Great fun.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Have a great weekend, everyone.